Hello students, today we will discuss more about how probe lithography is done. So for that, one way is using scanning tunneling microscope, which is used for conducting material. So as we discussed earlier, you have a tip which scans over the sample, and it could be working in the constant current mode or constant height mode. So what do you mean by constant current mode? As it was discussed earlier, so in the constant current mode, we have a sample over which the tip is scanned, and we need to ensure that always the constant current is maintained across the sample. So you know the sample might have some top regions and trenches. So when the tip reaches over here, it moves over here and reaches here. Now the tip is actually closer to the surface. So what the tip has to be done? The tip has to be moved up. Okay, so that it is maintaining constant separation between the tip and the sample surface, and hence ensuring the constant current. So every time at each point, the tip has to move up or down so that there is constant separation between the sample surface and the tip, and hence you'll be getting constant current. For that, we'll be putting a constant bias, and the vertical position of tip is hence altered, and you'll get an electron charge density profile. In the constant height mode, it is kept, the tip is not, the vertical height of the tip is not altered. So every time it is moving along this horizontal line, the height is maintained, but the surface would have top and trench fractures. So based on that, the current measured will be, here it will be more than measuring a trench. So the separation between the tip and the surface may alter depending upon the features of the surface, and hence you'll get a different current will be measured at each point, and hence there is a due to the variation in the separation between the tip and the sample, and hence that kind of method is called constant height operation mode, where this kind of mode will permit faster scanning rate. Now you have to keep in mind, such a scanning tunneling microscope can be used to those material which are electrically conducting, so that a tunneling can happen. Now let us look at how the nano manipulation, or how do you create patterns on the resist or on the sample. For that, you can either use parallel method or perpendicular method. In parallel method, the scanning tunneling microscope the tip will drag the atom along the surface. So the movement will be along the surface, and hence the name parallel. So the position of the atom at a desired spot will be ensured by dragging it along. So the motion of the manipulation, or motion of the manipulated atom, adsorbed atom in the sense the atom which is loosely bound to the surface. So those kind of atoms will be dragged along parallel to the surface, and the bond between the manipulated atom, that is the adsorbed atom, and the molecule is never broken. So for example, you can consider a sample like this, and suppose there is an atom which is loosely bound to the surface. So the tip will make this particular atom to move to any particular another location without breaking the bond. So the movement is always along parallel to the surface. While in the case of perpendicular motion, the adsorbed atom, the bond is broken, and the tip, and it will be attached to the tip, and it will be placed at some other location. So there is an upward motion of the atom onto the tip, and hence it is called perpendicular method. So in perpendicular method, the tip will first lift the adsorbed atom or the molecule from the surface and hover the atom above the substrate surface, like a crane is moving some luggage in that way, to a desired position where the atom is dropped from the tip. So the energy barrier for the lift off of the adaptum from the surface with the tip will vary depending upon what is the adsorption energy in the limit of the large tip surface separation, and it would be 0 when the tip is close enough to the adaptum, which means if the tip is very much closer to the adaptum, the energy barrier between the tip and the adaptum will be very small or 0, so this atom get attached to the tip. While if the separation between the tip and the adaptum is very much higher, very much larger, there will be huge energy barrier, so the atom will not have any attractive force. Like what we do in the case of a straw and a cotton, you make used to play in Precious Day and all, you'll be attaching a cotton using a straw. So in similar way, it is loosely attached to the tip and it is moved across. Okay, so in the parallel method, it could be of two kinds. One is called field assisted diffusion. So in field assisted diffusion, it is based on the presence of an intense and inhomogeneous electric field between the tip and the surface, so which can interact with the dipole moment of the adsorbed atom, so that the atom get attached to the tip. So it will result in a directional diffusion of the adatom. So the adatom will be dragged across the surface using a field between the tip and the dipole moment of the atom. Okay. Another way is sliding process, where you have a force between the tip and the adatom, and this force could be interatomic potential or chemical binding force. So the directional motion is obtained by adjusting the position of the tip, as we mentioned just in the early case. If the separation between the tip and the adatom is bigger, there won't be much attraction, but if the tip is very much closer to the adatom, there will be much attraction, so it will be dragged along or pulled along across the surface. So we can either use force or the field. If it is force, then the process is called sliding process. If it is a field, electric field, then it is called field assisted diffusion. So in perpendicular process, you have three kind of methods. One is called transfer on or near contact. That is, if the tip is in contact with the atom or it is near to the atom, then the atom will be attracted in one or lifted off in one way. Okay, so that process is called transfer on or near contact. Field evaporation means a field will be given and the atom will be evaporated and diffused. Electromigration, by giving an electric field, you can migrate the atom. So let us discuss the first method. So in the first method, it relies on stronger attractive force between the tip and the adatom than between the adatom and the surface when the tip is brought in contact with the adatom. So if the tip and the atom is closer, then what happens? The force of attraction between the surface and the adatom and between the tip and the adatom will differ. If the tip is very much closer, this attractive force will be more. If the tip is at a very large distance, then what happens? Between the surface and the adatom will be attractive force between the adatom and the surface will be more. So that is the way of lifting up the adatom. So between the atom and the surface more during drop off step, and it requires transfer adatom between different surfaces. Okay. Now in the next kind of perpendicular method, you have transfer of adatom by the application of voltage pulse, and hence a name field evaporation. So on application of voltage, it will be thermally activated and the ions will be evaporated over the Schottky barrier formed by lowering of potential energy outside the conductor by the application of electric field. And hence it requires ultra high vacuum and room temperature, because if there is any other kind of dust particle or another kind of atoms present on the surface, such kind of field evaporation will not be effective. And also it must be at the room temperature, otherwise if the temperature is high, that will also thermally agitate the ions and the diffused location will be changed. So these are things to be kept in mind. And in the case of electromigration, it is a reversible transfer by application of voltage pulse, and it happens in 4 Kelvin temperature. And you have to keep in mind that other application may also include chemical manipulation, including electric field as well as tunneling electron beam. So these are the three basic steps or basic kind of types of perpendicular process used in scanning tunneling microscope. So this is shown here. If the tip is closer to the add atom, then it will be attached onto the tip. If the separation is larger, it will be dropped off from the tip. Now let us focus on atomic force microscope. So atomic force microscope is used for probe lithographic technique for such material which are dielectric. So it measures a variety of interaction, like it could be van der Waals interaction at short distance, or permanent dipoles, induced dipole, or electronic polarization. Some kind of attraction has to be, or interaction has to be felt between the tip and the surface. Okay, and it could also measure long range forces like electrostatic interaction, current induced or static magnetic interaction, capillary forces. So any of these interactions can be felt by the tip and the surface, and hence nano manipulation can be obtained. So in the case of atomic force microscope, you can see the surface feature has some top surface and trunk surface, and there is a cantilever, and onto the cantilever a laser is incident. So due to the motion of deflection of the cantilever, that deflection will be detected using some electronics and detector, and that's how you profile the sample. And in the case of atomic force microscope, you are measuring the force of interaction between the surface and the tip, and you could measure up to a 10 raised to minus 18 Newton force. So instead of adjusting the constant height, atomic force microscope measures deflection, minute deflection at the tip, and thus a constant force of contact is kept. So AFM tip will literally drag across the sample surface, and it is used to manipulate the atoms and molecules either by pushing in the sense some kind of repulsive forces will be given between the tip and the particle, those particles which are weakly coupled onto the substrate. So any particle that is weakly coupled onto the substrate, it will be pushed by the presence of the tip. Okay, or you can actually have a pulling attractive force which will pull the atom along the surface, or you could also have sliding. So in the case of scanning probe microscope, it is usually used for imaging the surface of all kind of solids, but it can also measure local chemical and physical properties of the sample surface, and nano manipulation and nano lithographic and characterization in situ can be done. So those are the advantages. You could at the same time you could have what is the image, what is the appearance of the surface, you can measure what are the chemical and physical property, as well as you can manipulate or lithography process can be done, and at the same time characterization can also be done. Okay, and it offers extremely fine positional control in all the 3 dimensions. You can adjust in the height-wise direction, or the length-wise direction, or the breadth-wise direction. In three directions you can manipulate how the atoms has to be arranged. So, and also since the tip is very sharp, you can also have very nanoscale features to be formed. But the disadvantages are the scanning area is very small, so the speed will be very slow. Only one nanostructure can be fabricated at each time per SPM instrument, and the tip must possess high quality and invariant size and shape for nano manipulation. And because the tip is constantly in interaction with the sample, there is a chance for getting easily damaged and contaminated, and the substrate surface must be flat enough and smooth without any contamination. Otherwise, the add atom which is attached to the tip will be dropping off without, or undesirably it will be dropped off by uh, these contaminants or dust particles on the surface. And it must be performed under a well controlled fabrication environment like ultra high vacuum and extremely low temperature for the features to be constant and consistent. So that is about scanning probe microscopy. Okay, thank you.